All right. I didn't really know what to talk about this video, but I know what to talk about in here, but I don't know how to say it through my mouth. That sounded weird. Um, anyways, I guess what I want to say is like, how do you know if your partner is the one? I would say, if you are yourself around this person and like you are not afraid to be vulnerable, like, like singing in the shower and hitting all the high pitched notes, PS, you can't hit shit, or dancing around the room and you only know one dance move. Maybe it's a Fortnite dance, whatever. Or, just like farting around your partner, Like, I don't know, I'm just like listening to random stuff, but if you feel that level of vulnerability around your partner, that's not like a common thing. You may think it's a common thing, like, oh, you can feel, you're supposed to feel vulnerable, but supposed to is like you got to build up to that. But I feel like if your partner is truly the one, you will feel absolutely no like fear or no like doubt to be yourself around them. I think that's the first thing. Second thing is you just adore them in every like aspect. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They could be studying and there's just one strand of hair that falls in front of their face and you're like, man, she's so pretty. And then she'll look over at you and she'll be like, what are you looking at? And then I don't know, like small things, and then like you just appreciate the way she like is goofy around you, or you just appreciate all the small things. And there she slash he, I'm gonna be speaking, in terms of like me, but this could apply to if you're like a woman and watching this and your partner's like a guy or a girl, whatever, it applies to anyone. But second thing is just like appreciating the small things and like adoring the small things. It's not even like appreciation, it's more of like adoring them. Like just they could be doing absolutely nothing. They could be just like playing with their hair or singing songs or like um playing Clash Royale, and I don't know, being like, why is this guy emoting on me? And then you find that cute or something. I don't know, stuff like that. um the third thing I would say is if you um okay, I don't know how to, I don't know what the category for this third thing is, but like if they stick with you through your lows, I guess, as well as your highs. Like if you are doing well in life, or just if you're doing well and they're by your side, and they're laughing with you, they're celebrating with you, and they're just like, everything's great, that's great, honestly, like I'm happy for you. But if they're not the same way when things are tough for you, when things are looking really bad and shaky and honestly scary, and they walk away, or they're not very supportive, or they're like attacking you instead of supporting you, I don't that's not a sign that they're the one. um I think love is, it becomes unconditional. um and unconditional love is not something to be taken for granted. It's really nice, and when you give unconditional love to someone else, that is also a very nice feeling. Um, but point is, if they only stick around when you're doing good, then I don't think that's an indicator. Um, the next thing is, okay, this isn't like a, I don't know if this is like a sign that she's the one, but oh no, no, it is. Okay, okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase things. Love languages is a huge thing. For example, if your love language is physical touch and like um giving gifts, words of affirmation, it's important that your partner goes out of their way to make sure that you're receiving that. um I think if she's the one, she will do that. If your love language is physical touch, or you like to receive gifts, or um I don't know, just any of the like love languages, and she goes out of her way to remember like things about you. And if I needed like a blanket, for example, and she goes out of her way to get you a blanket, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't even expect that, or something like that. Or like, I don't know, she knows that holding your hand in public means a lot to you, or something like that. She'll go out of her way to do it because she cares about you and she knows it's important to you. I think that's I think that's really nice. So there's, I think that was 4 to 5 things, but pretty much point is, if you know, like that's all I'm trying to say. If your partner is like a really bad influence on you and she doesn't care about you, and you feel trapped in the relationship, you know that's not the one. But if you feel like your partner and you have a lot of problems, but every time you have problems, you guys figure it out as a team, and you guys try your best to work on these problems together, and move on and forgive each other, and never go to bed angry, and always say I love you before you sleep, and never hang up abruptly on the other person. Like, I could go on and on. Then that's the person right there. And I feel like there's a bad stigma about taking breaks, like in a relationship, because they're like, oh, breaks are just like a dry version of breaking up. It'll eventually lead to it, but I don't think so necessarily. If all the stuff I just listed applies to you and your partner, but you still feel like you might need a break to maybe work on yourselves a little bit, maybe you figure out how to become better partners, better lovers, so that you guys can meet in the future again, and be each other's person again, then I think a break by all means could be necessary, and I think it would be beneficial if you guys are absolutely like certain, like you guys are this tight and close to each other, and you're certain that, oh, this is the person that I want, and I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna work on myself as well as, you know, I'm gonna work on myself for me as well as for her, because in the future we will, get back together. And I just don't think a break is like, it's hard. A break is hard. All you can think about is the other person if it's no contact. All you can think about is the other person. All you think about is good memories. You maybe listen to voicemails or memos, and I don't know, like, see what type of music they're listening to on Instagram, and um I don't know, just like whatever. And it's really tough because you go from talking to this person every single day to nothing, and it feels like a big like chunk of you just got like ripped out, and that's normal. But I think it's all worth it in the end, and everything happens for a reason. That's also one of my mottos in life. Everything happens for a reason. If it seems tough in the moment, just keep pushing through, because I think, keep pushing through, you'll realize at the end it's worth it. So that's all I got for this video. Ran a bit longer than I hoped, but once again, this is like a benchmark for me, and if this helps somebody else out there, that's awesome. But yeah, it's about all I got. I'm trying to think of a J. Cole quote. Maybe I can end every video with a J. Cole quote. Fuck's sake. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh yeah, I've been listening to his new album, The Fall Off. It's fucking remarkable. How do you go 24 for 24 on a 2-disc album? Like, what the fuck? J. Cole quotes. I mean, the most obvious one is, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. I'll figure out another quote for my next one. But, as J. Cole said, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. So appreciate your life. Keep pushing through. Figure out things that are best for you. And just keep soldering through, because you got this. And, I'll say it for myself. I got this too. So that's about it.